Hey everyone, welcome to Jack's Corner. Thank you so much for the love that you've been showing in the previous One Piece videos. Now let's get into the incredible and lore-filled One Piece arc, Zou. This may be a hot take, but in my opinion, Zou is the best setup arc in One Piece by far. Between the characters introduced, the conflicts we came across, and the lore, oh man, the lore that we got in this arc, it was so good and it left me hooked. In last week's video, I touched on how interesting things were looking with Sanji, Nami, Chopper, and Brook leaving for Zou halfway through the Dressrosa arc, and then Sanji getting a bounty upgrade with a poster that says wanted alive instead of dead or alive like everyone else. Well, Zou has her answers, and man, it is juicy. First off, what an intro. When Luffy and the crew get to Zou, only to realize that it is literally a giant elephant with an island on its back, I was floored. When the crew finally arrives at the top of its back, we then see like a war-torn city, which adds mystery to the island, and we have no idea why it's all destroyed in the first place. When they're exploring Zou, they encounter what we know now is called a mink named Wanda, and after some dialogue, she brings the crew back to where the Sanji group is, except there's someone's missing in the group, and that's Sanji. After much needed explanation and flashbacks, we learn that Sanji was taken by Capone Bege, who is part of the Worst Generation pirates that we were introduced to back in Sabaody, and he also works under one of the four emperors, Big Mom, which explains why Big Mom's ship even showed up in Dressrosa in our last video. What then followed was a super suspenseful scene where Bege explains to Sanji that he's been summoned by Big Mom to attend one of her tea parties, so that he can then marry one of her 35 daughters named Pudding. Obviously, Sanji refuses the invitation, but then is told that everyone he knows, other than the crew and the crew, will suffer if he doesn't attend. So for the sake of the people that he cares about the most, he leaves a note for the crew saying the most Sanji thing he could ever say, and it said, "To the crew, I'm gonna meet a woman, I'll be back," which is obviously the most Sanji thing you could say. This chapter literally had me speechless, as it is obviously the setup for the next arc, and I was more than excited, but the crazy part is that this isn't even all that Zou has to offer. In another plot, we have an explanation on the war-torn city being like this because of another emperor, Kaido, whose underling Jack the Drought came to town and destroyed the whole city in search of a ninja from Wano named Raizo. He tortures and kills the minks in searching for Raizo, and all everyone tells him the whole time is they have no idea who Raizo is, they don't even know who he's talking about. And then that's when we start to learn the truth from the kings of Zou. They had been hiding Raizo this entire time, as the minks of Zou are supporters of what's called the Kozuki clan from Wano country. We learned that Momonosuke is not Kinemon's son, but actually the son of the Kozuki clan leader Odin. We learned that Odin even rode with Gold D. Roger at one point and then was killed by Kaido, which left the Kozuki clan in the state that it's in now. So now the Shogun and Kaido have control over Wano, and that is how we get a setup for two amazing plots, and I'm so excited for it. One of them being Sanji's rescue on Whole Cake Island, and then we have the other one of freeing the Wano country after taking down Kaido, King of the Beasts. You thought that was it? Well, no. Remember how excited I was in Fishman Island video whenever I said that Luffy heard the Neptunians speaking to him, and the only other person who could do that was Goldie Roger? Well, here at Zou, Jack the Drought begins his attack again on the elephant Zunesha, which is the elephant that's housing Zou. And as he's about to take down the whole country, we see Luffy and Momonosuke listen to Zunesha actually asking them for help and permission to fight back. God, I love One Piece. Momo then able to talk to it, which Luffy couldn't do it, which is interesting, but Momo could. He then gave it permission to fight back, and then Zunesha absolutely destroys Jack's fleet and continues walking forward. Once he destroys Jack's fleet, we then see that Jack is still alive, floating at the bottom of the ocean, and so apparently we now know that he's a fisherman, which is super interesting. Like seriously, this arc had it all. And even more to the lore of One Piece, we get shown another poneglyph, only this time it's a red one, and we're taught that this is one of the 4 red ones that lead you to the final island where the One Piece is located, Raftel. I love the people of Zou. I love the setup that we received for not 1 but 2 arcs, the lore that we learned about One Piece world, and how it was greatly expanded, and the mystery just continues and continues. And all of this is done in 1 arc, and that is why I really do believe that Zou is the best setup arc by far in One Piece. After everything's said and done and we get our roles, the gang splits into a couple teams. In the Sanji rescue team, we have Luffy, Nami, Chopper, Brook, and Pedro, who is a mink. And then the surprise is Carrot, who snuck on board. And she is so adorable, by the way. I already love her character, and she needs to be protected at all costs. Law, Zoro, Frankie, and Robin stay on Zou, and apparently they're going to be traveling to Wano soon in secret with Kinemon, Raizo, and the third samurai, all while Sanji is getting rescued. And now where I am in the manga, we are on our way to Whole Cake Island, which means that this is where the video is coming to its end. One thing that got me excited for Whole Cake was a comment that was left by a really cool viewer, Diego, telling me that Brook gets a lot of shine in the Whole Cake arc, which is great because in Thriller Bark, I do feel like he is due for a great moment or two. I'm very excited for what's to come in Wano. I'm so excited to see Zoro in his element in a whole samurai country. I'm so excited that we're taking on not one but two emperors here in the next couple arcs. And also one thing I'm really interested in is this whole Sanji marriage thing. It has me excited that it looks like we're about to get some really deep Sanji backstory, which is something that I feel like I've needed because honestly, if you go back to one of my first One Piece videos, I ranked all the Straw Hats, and Sanji was pretty close to the bottom, and it's really because I'm not a huge fan of the whole pervy character thing, but I do feel like maybe with some backstory and kind of a reasoning to why he is the way he is, I feel like I can then love the character a lot more, and I love how Oda can still surprise us with backstories of people that we've been following along for like 15 years now. Well everyone, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed reading Zou. I hope you all have an amazing day. I love you all, and I'll see you next week in the delicious Whole Cake Island.